Hello, everyone. My name is Kwashea Gori, and I would be briefly going over my AWS SOC 2 evidence collection and auditor AI agent. This is just going to show the first phase without the agent, but this is for anyone who wants to set this up as for your GRC team. And the goal of this is just to ensure that you can automate evidence collection using like an S3 bucket. You can put some RAG to it as well so that when you're building your AI auditor, it can provide that information. And if not RAG, it can just provide you information on the front end using Streamlit, for example, to which this can be better to present to your auditors. And the cool thing is that what's happening is that the evidence has some type of deterministic control mapping. So the keywords per control, for example, it will find a certain control like logical access, and this would then map that particular control and display it on our Streamlit site, which you'll see in a moment, our demo site. And the evidence text is matched on those keywords. So each hit is like a match score pretty much. The drift detection will compare the last evidence that was updated versus the control. So this will be based on days because, as we know, when you're doing audits, they want the most recent evidence, or when you're doing your compliance checks within your company internal, whether it's quarterly or monthly, you would have this set up just like your access reviews to be automated, generate reports for you, or it can generate those reports and send them via email to different teams or departments who would need that information. And then we have per control status, which is pass, partial, or fail. And I will, again, this is just the first phase, but I will scale this up to my own AI agent, which I have in AWS already. But that AI agent can also be on the front end of a web page. For example, if you're into vibe coding or you're a web developer, or just again, if you're just a security engineer, DevSecOps, these are things that you can do when you talk about reporting and dashboards. This will be a good way to present it. But again, this is just the first phase we'll go through here. This could plug into Jira, ServiceNow as well. So it is multi-source simulated. And again, if you're doing this as a lab, because again, I just built this up with the help of Chat GPT. I ended up building my own labs just so that I can, continue to show my work. But with this lab, I deployed this to where it's least privileged access, deterministic baselines. Again, we have time box evidence SLAs, so drift windows per control is what I explained before. This is infrastructure as code using cloud formation stacks as well, and just clear boundaries. So this would just be mock data that I'll use in a moment here on the demo site just to show you. But the deliverables pretty much would be, the Lambda code, which will be my evidence mapper, and the sample data, which I will show you for evidence and controls, and infrastructure template, the Streamlit demo, which I'll show you as well, the design notes and mapping logic, and a prompt. But again, this would be coming on the demo site, and it would work with Amazon Bedrock to work as a agent, an AI assistant, pretty much to explain any of the data that is being shown. So if you say, hey, auditor, just go to this URL, and it will show you what we have, everything that's been updated coming straight from our cloud security tool, whether it's AWS, Azure, or GCP. It will just pull that information, and either the internal GRC team and or the auditor can just ask it a few questions. But again, that will be in the next phase. So this first phase is just to show you the main demo that I put together for this. And then again, I have a lucid chart just to show you kind of the architect behind this as well, other than building it out here. So if you again want to take a stab at this, there is some information here. I've shared this link on my GitHub page, so you can just click it and come here and follow through. So here's the SOC 2 evidence collection deterministic mapping demo that I've built through Streamlit. And what we're going to do is just get some sample data here. So I'm just going to put in the SOC 2. So this is for SOC 2. And as you see here, we just got we got a few controls that would be a part of a SOC 2 audit. And as you see here, the evidence mapping will be set up there, the description of the control name, the trust service, and the control ID. So these are the controls that would be used to map against the evidence here. So I'll go ahead and add the evidence sample. And as you see, what it will do is just show both the control and the evidence next to each other. So you can have your, however you have it set up, but this is just how I have it set up now for the source. So as you see, we'll pull from Security Hub, AWS config, Jira, CloudWatch. It would just pull from, this from your cloud platform tool, and just the description, the last update for that. And then here's your S3 buckets that you would have linked to that. So when we're talking about RAG again, this would pull from the S3 bucket that I would have set up for my RAG, or you could just call it augmented for the agent to speak to an auditor or an internal team. Now, here you see the mapping. So as you see, again, I just uploaded both of these sample documents, and it generated here the mappings that you see here, the match score it would get, drift as well. You have your age, your max age days, the date of age for each control. So if it was updated, so again, if your team has to update something specific in Security Hub, for example, vulnerability, and we all know sometimes based on what's going on in the environment, maybe there's a schedule, or maybe you're waiting on change management, but this will just show up here, and once it's updated, the mapping will get updated to clear this out. But as you see here, we had about five altogether if we're counting zero, but 5 different evidence, different types of evidence that was pulled. And here is at least 3 of them that were mapped here to controls. And then here's the control summary, where you have your status, pass or fail. So as we see here, these 2 controls passed and this one failed. And this is for your logical access for Jira. And you can download a report, or again, your auditor can download that report as well. And it would just show the same information that you would see here. And that's our SOC 2 evidence collector that I built. Thank you guys, and I will talk to you again.